Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Laura. I'm a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse. This is my 4th year going on now. I created this YouTube channel so that I can give my own advice and my own expertise on topics related to nursing. Today's video, we are going to be answering a question that many people have, and that question is nursing right for you? So, I have compiled five factors to consider when considering a career in nursing. And these factors are very thought provoking, definitely worth bringing to a discussion table. I have my trusty notebook here. So you guys will see me reach to it from time to time because it's a lot of information. But without further ado, we're going to get into this video. All right, so the first factor number one when considering is nursing right for you, is investment. You need to consider the level of investment that you are putting into obtaining this degree. And when I say investment, I'm talking about two things: time and money. Time is valuable. It's our most valuable asset, and we need to be careful when we are dispensing our time. So, the typical nursing program, the core of the program, can take about 2 years. If you already have your prerequisites, you can get that down a little bit shorter time frame. But if you don't have your prerequisites, and let's say you're starting from scratch, it can take you a good 3 to 5 years to become a registered nurse. So during that time, you have to consider what you're going to be giving up to obtain that degree. So I encourage you to consider the time on investment. The next part of the investment that I ask to consider when considering as nursing right for you is the money that it's going to take to obtain this degree. So, when you consider money, it's great if you already have money put aside that you can pay for tuition. However, if you don't, then you have to consider the alternative, which would be taking out student loans. But either way, putting the money into that degree, there is a certain burden that you feel from the loss of the money. And the burden comes from, let's say you already have that money saved up. Well, you're going to consider how long it took you to accumulate that money and if it's worth putting it all into going towards this venture or this educational journey. And then another thing to consider, if you're going to be taking out student loans, you feel a sense of burden while owing those student loans. You're happy to get the student loans, but when you get them, now you get all these emails from the federal student loan department. So long story short, it's an investment. It's an investment of your time and money. And those are really important factors to consider because when you take out student loans, those can potentially affect your credit score. They can potentially affect your ability to obtain things in the future, like a car loan, home loan, things like that. So it's um, it's definitely worth to consider when you're going to consider is nursing right for you. The second factor I ask you guys to consider when talking about nursing and if it's a career that's right for you is the big why. Why do you want to be a nurse? Why do you want to get into nursing? And then I would advise you to know 100%. I would advise you to know why you want to be a nurse 100%. And whatever your reasons are, that's your business. But make sure that that reason can withstand the weathering that this career brings. So when you're down deep in either your clinicals or working as a nurse and you're just having like that rough patch and you need some motivation or picker upper, you draw back on your why, right? You draw back on, why did I do this in the first place? Why am I here in the first place? And that why, if that why is not strong enough, you will have some difficult times and you may see this career as a hindrance to your life and your work-life balance. So I would encourage you to consider the big why when talking about is nursing right for you. The third factor to consider is health and longevity. So, being a nurse, working as a nurse, I can tell you from personal experience that this career is weary on the body. It's weary on the mind, the body, and the soul. Because every day when you go to work, you need to be mentally prepared and you need to be mentally present because no matter how long you've had that job, no matter how long you've had that patient population that you're taking care of, you're still taking care of people's lives and they are in a state where they are not at their optimal health level. So that's why they need the care at the moment. And so you have to be present. If you're tired, you cannot be too tired to where you cannot function at your job. So I can tell you this career is weary on the body, it's tiring on the body. And again, depending on your specialty, it's heavy on the body too, especially the patient population that you have and the tasks that you have to complete on a daily basis, maybe the machines that you have to handle or move around. So when considering is nursing right for you, I would ask you to consider your health, consider your health status now and your health status in the long run. If you have to take medications on a daily basis, I would consider the time that you have to take those medications, how that will fit in with your nursing schedule. If you take medications that make you tired, how that's going to affect or your workflow. So those are things I would consider. Nursing, it can be mentally, it can be physically draining. It's definitely not an easy job. Some people have found their sweet spot where this job is easy, but it's not that way for everyone. So I just encourage you to consider that factor when you're going to make that decision. Is nursing right for you? My fourth factor, very important factor. This is, I would say, my main important factor when you're considering is nursing right for you. I would consider your goals for retirement. And this is not the usual factor that would be on a list like this, in my opinion. But this factor is an important one to consider whether you're 18 years old becoming a nurse or you're 59 years old becoming a nurse. Your goals for retirement. And just to further it, an example would be to just think about how many years you want to invest in your retirement. Are you becoming a nurse because you would make more money and can invest more money into your retirement over the long run? Or are you thinking, okay, I'm 60, I'm 62 years old, I want a job as a supplemental income, and that's why I'm doing this. And I ask you to just consider those factors because, there are jobs out there that have these retirement matches. So they'll put down like a 4% retirement towards your retirement, and you can certainly put more, but this is a profession where you have the ability to capitalize on those opportunities, because in nursing, the more years you put in, the more return on your investment that you make, because you do get raises as a nurse. And it is worth it. Going through this career, it is worth it. You will be paid. You will be paid good money. You might have to do a little bit of searching for that job. You might have to work a couple of years to climb up the ladder, get the experience, but it is worth it. So I would encourage you to consider your retirement possibilities, and then what you want to do with that information. Retirement is so important because while you're working, you need to be putting away money for retirement. And sometimes when you make good money, you're like, no, I need this money right now, but consider retirement because before you know it, it's time for you to retire. It's a good topic to start a discussion at any time in your life. So, like I said, if you're a nurse that's 18 years old, please consider your retirement options. And if you're a nurse at 59 years old, please consider your retirement options. It's very important regardless of the stage of life you're in. Okay, my last factor to consider when you are thinking, is nursing right for me? This fifth factor is, just kidding, your long-term career goals. This is an important one. The retirement one was more important, but this is also an important factor to consider. To know before you begin this journey. It would be nice if you don't, that is okay. Hopefully you just figure it out along the way. Um, but it gives you a nice head start when you know what your long-term goals are, why you're entering this profession. Are you wanting to be a nurse in this profession, and is this your end goal, to be a registered nurse working? That is it, that's all you want to do? Or are you thinking about, okay, I want to be a registered nurse, but I want to be a registered nurse not in the clinical setting, but maybe teaching? Like, those things are good to know. And then let's say you want to be a registered nurse, but you want to eventually step into the role of being a provider. If you know that you want to be a nurse practitioner and that's why you're becoming a nurse, then that helps you get to that point faster, because you can get a job as a registered nurse in the field that will give you the most exposure as possible, so that when you enter your nurse practitioner program, you have seen many things, you have learned many things pertaining to that profession. And sometimes that can help too. So it's good to consider your long-term goals in this profession. If you want to be, let's say, an acute care nurse practitioner, um, maybe getting a job as a psychiatric registered nurse may help, so that you can be in the environment, and in an environment where you can interact with a psychiatric nurse practitioner. So that gives you a lot of exposure, so that when you're ready to apply and go to school to be a psychiatric nurse practitioner, you have an idea of the environment that you're going to be walking in, the discussions that you, or the sooner the higher up provider may have with their patients. So it just helps. Okay, those are my 5 factors to consider when considering, is nursing right for you? Um, I hope that you guys take this as you may, utilize these factors. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer. And then just great luck on your journey. Being a registered nurse is a rewarding career. It's a calling. It's not only just a job, choice. It is a calling, and it's not for everyone. And if you are one of those people that are a nurse, whether you're an LPN, a registered nurse, um, you're in a profession that is very rewarding. You're in a profession that is nurturing. You're in a profession where people trust you. And so there's a lot of responsibility on your shoulder. It weighs on you. And thank you guys always for doing what you do. Even all healthcare professionals, thank you guys. It's not an easy job. We made it through the pandemic. Okay, so that's all I have for today. Let me know what you guys think again. Give this video a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.